This is basically to help you organize your Google folders and get into the effect of how do I use Google Docs and how can I use the Google document features in the classroom setting so that more things will be electronic. The first thing that I want to go over is creating new folders. If your Google Docs looks anything like mine, or even if it doesn't, you have lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of documents or collections or anything that's shared with you, and in terms of finding something, it seems somewhat complicated. Now you can type in something up here if you're searching it specifically. Let's say I'm looking for Janae Whitcomb's folder. So hopefully she has, oh, here's some student information for Janae. So I can use this as a search if I need to, but really what I want is a systematic way to navigate through all the different documents and collections that I have on here. Now, on your desktop, on your computer, you'll have what's called a folder, and you can put documents in a folder. In Google Docs, they've renamed them to call them collections. So if you want to make a collection for your English class, your Period 2 class, for physical science, or for physics, you go over here to create new, and you type on, or hit on collection. And now you can name the collection whatever you want. I'm going to pretend that I am a chemistry student, because I teach chemistry, and I'm going to type in my name, so that I know this is my specific folder and it's for chemistry. And the reason that my name is there, we'll talk about that in a moment. But I put my name there. As a student, made a collection. Now I can put all my work for that class in there, just like if I was saving on a flash drive or on a computer. I can save into a specific place that is particularly devoted to chemistry. Hopefully that is this one, and we'll refresh just to check that it's there. If you look over here in the left pane, you'll see all of my different collections. So those are collections that I have. Hopefully, if all goes well and Google Docs is working as it should be, the folder that I just made is now in this pane over here. So I can use it to navigate and figure out something. If I wanted to find my work for chemistry, I'd find it there. Okay. Now, what you can do with folders, you can keep them for your own organizational purposes, or you can share them with others. So if I want to share this particular collection, I can right-click on it and go to Share. And again to Share. Now in this window, this is me. It's showing that it already belongs to me and I can see it, and these would list people who can see it. I can change the privacy settings to make it public so that anybody would be able to see it if they had the right link. I'm not going to do that right now. I'd rather it be private because this is my work that I do in my chemistry class, and I don't want anybody else to look at it, except for my teacher. So what I would do here is, as a student, I'm making a folder for my class. I'm going to type in the email address of my teacher. Now this pane here shows me what permissions do I want to apply to this particular person, whether it's my teacher, if you're a teacher, to students. Should they be able to just look at it, or can they edit it as well? As you have your students set up folders for your particular class, you want to be able to edit. So this would be the teacher's name, or the teacher's email address going in here, in the students folder, and they want to be able to edit. If you have them as, if they have you as can't edit, that means that you can type comments back into their documents. You can edit their documents right in there in a different ink color, or just through track changes or something like that. So I want to share this with myself, because that's how I do things. You can put a note in if you wanted to. I'm not going to because I'm sending something to myself, and that's silly enough. So if I have documents that I want to go in here, I can upload directly into the documents. I go in here. Through the upload settings, I can put Word files in there, PDFs, PowerPoints, if I have a presentation or something like that. As a teacher, you can have your students make their own Google Docs folders for your class. And I have my students do that, and I have them share it with me. So if you look in the left pane again, you'll see collections shared with me. And that's a list of all the collections that have been shared with you, where they've typed your name into that little box. Now, as I go to my own collections that are shared with me, there should be quite a few. These are all the different collections that have been shared with me. I've got all of my environmental students, it's about 30 or 35 kids, and another approximately 20 chemistry students. You'll see some chemistry folders in here, and there are some portfolio folders in there from my advisees, and really there's no organization to this nonsense here. What I'm going to do is organize this so that it makes sense for me and so I can look through my work relatively easily. So I'm going to take this folder over here and I'm going to rename it because I don't want to just make a new folder. To rename a folder is really easy. You right click on it and go to where it says rename. And now I'm going to name this particular folder student work. Now as a teacher, this is my student work, and if I want to look at any of my students' work, I'm going to go into this folder. So now we have the folder that says student work, and this is the way that I organize my information. You can make subfolders in the student work. So instead of having a whole bunch of unrelated folders that are over here, in my student work, I'm going to make a new collection, and I'm going to call it Period 1. Is I want to organize all of these folders that have been shared with me. I've got some from environmental science, my period 2 class, some from period 5, some from period 4. I want to make it really easy for myself. If I know that period 4 has a paper due on Friday at 12 p.m., then when I go over here, I want to be able to look in the right folder and see just that class's work. I'm going to work with my period 1 class because it's going to be easy for me. That's my only chemistry class right now. So I'm going to click down and check all the boxes that have a student's chemistry. Now, some students may not have written their named their folder correctly. They're supposed to name it with their name, as I did in the first. I pick a couple of the chemistry kids. Their boxes have been checked, which means any action that I do with that is going to happen to all of them. I'm going to drag them over here until the period 1 is highlighted, and you'll see something happen right here once that change has taken place. Okay. See, now in Stavisha's folder, it says that it's in collection period 1, and so is Mohammed's, and in a moment Natalie should be as well. Okay. So that's just one way that I like to share my code my classes. I also color code things because I think of myself as a visual learner, so I can change the color. I know that period 1's class is green, so I can change the icon to be green for period 1. I could change it to be blue for period 2, purple for period 3, or 4, and so on. What this is nice for is if I'm looking for work for a particular student, I don't have to search through all the collections that have been shared with me to find their specific one. Because if I was looking for, let's say I'm looking for Stephen DiCello's portfolio. I know it's shared with me somewhere, but I have all of these different things that are shared with me. Oh wait, there it is. Okay, so there are so many other things shared with me, it makes it really easy for me to locate what I want to locate when I want to find it. And if your students have it shared with you, then you'll be able to see it there. The second part that I wanted to talk about was sort of out folders. I've created my own out folders. That's where I give information out to students. Rather than making 20-something copies of the science rubrics, rather than making copies of environmental science assignments, I have a folder that is shared with my students. So the very first day of school, I had them all write their Google Docs email addresses on a piece of paper, and I type them in. Let me right-click on here. And we can look at the shared emails. And these will be all the students that have this particular folder shared with them. Okay. Now what you'll see is they say can view. So I allow the students to view my documents. They allow me to edit theirs. And the reason for this is the documents that are in this folder, this out folder, are like handouts. It's like if I were going to give them a paper copy of the student information worksheet, they wouldn't be writing on my original copy, they'd be writing on a copy. So this is sort of the original. What the student does is they go in and they make a copy of the assignment, and then they're able to put it into their own folders. Let me show you. I have out folders for each of the classes that I'm teaching right now. So for environmental science, the newest assignment is Why Civilizations Fail, response questions to an article. So a student who has the folder shared with them goes in here, clicks on the assignment, and here's the homework. The answer is in
I have a question, and I think I might know the answer, but so for example, if I have say my grade 10 folder,
Yeah.
and then I make maybe a folder for each period.
That's how I originally.
Well, this is my question. If I then have the kids, or I put the kids' folders into, say, period 1, all the period 1 kids. If I put something in the period 1 folder, or even the grade 10 folder, that those are folders for, I'm
Right.
trying not to be confusing, would that mean that I could put the outwork in there? Or would that
no.
be shared with everyone? Or
Yo,
something?
this folder here, student work, is not shared with anyone. I'm going to go to that to show you.
So if I
it's
share
not
that
shared
folder,
with
then
anyone.
everything in the folder is shared with everyone? Is that how that works?
Yes.
Okay, so that's really kind of, I guess.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's a good distinction. Now, if you make a folder shared with somebody, then anything you put in that folder will be shared with them automatically. That's why your student folders should have your name on them, and it should have your email address in there, because anything they put into that folder will be shared with you. Just like I put my students' names in the out folder because I want them to view all of that. Now, this folder is just my own organization. It's only shared with me and nobody else. So just because I put a shared folder in here doesn't mean it's going to translate into other people being able to see it. Likewise, just because Devin and Natalie's folders are both in period 1, that doesn't mean that they can see each other's stuff.
Okay.
I can see all of this. Devin can see Devin's. Natalie can see Natalie's. And unless one of them shares it with somebody else, then that person will be able to share to see. But they won't be able to see it unless it's been directly shared with them by the owner.
So if I had subfolders under, say, student work,
Yeah.
and I had period 1, and that's the work the students completed, could I have maybe period 1 handouts that wouldn't be shared with them, or do all the subfolders be shared with them?
Within the reason that I distinguish between student work and then my out folders is because I know that other people will see this. No one else is going to see this one. So within
okay,
chemistry, or I'm sorry, within environmental science, I could have subfolders. Let's say I'll make one right now. I want to make a new folder, a new collection that says start of year. For all the housekeeping things that I have from the beginning of the year, and I'm going to put a couple of assignments in there: the report card, the syllabus, the contract for safety, start of year information. So these are just things that are sort of information gathering. I can put them into the start of year folder so that they're not here. So I can organize the things that are in this. So if you wanted to say period 1, period 2, if you wanted to have that distinction, you can. But anything, if this folder is shared with a group of 10 students, and that means 10 students will be able to see anything in the folder,
Right.
including anything in a subfolder.
Got it. Okay. That makes sense.
So if I go in here, these things are still shared with those other students, regardless. And actually, one student put it in his own folder. So he copied it into another so we can see where that's